that really did not help the cause. But yeah, like you said, see, I completely agree with you. It's still the first game. It's still those early phases of the evening that we have. Quantum Rage have managed to maintain themselves a really good spot, but these are the fights that I was really talking about, right? Every single one of them hunkering down on these areas. But yeah, likewise, MetershotxSKY, they made some really nasty movements out there. But I think they still felt they could have done better in that situation. And this is where, Regicide did come in, thinking that, they could third party and get the better out of Star. But it was Star who really impressed us today. And as we talk about SALTxi8, they're definitely looking to recover. I would still say it's not the best of their performance, but yeah, slowly but surely they're getting there.
Yeah, it's just one small error or two that kind of inhibits them in those few matches. But as you said, it seems to be an upward climb so far. We'll have to see if it does end up continuing. But I do agree. I think Star genuinely did end up impressing me with their ability to hold on despite their number disadvantage. They played it like we expected to be played, making sure that they've got each other's back, playing off the contact of one player, ensuring that they take those fights together and just playing it beautifully. We're talking about doing something beautifully. I think FMxR3D picked their fights in these final circles very well. They allowed Team
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Quantum Rage, of course. I mean, we've been enjoying ourselves through and through out. But for clarity, again, they're still missing that little bit of a clarity over there. They started off really well, were looking really good, but the conviction is somewhere lacking. And I think this is where, Teen Wolf would be, starting to wonder if he could just go back to the basics. But Freestyle, a team I really felt that had the best rotation inside the game, just could not do enough. As in this moment, you could clearly see Tyrant really outplayed everybody inside the lobby. I think I must say that he was one of my favorite players, especially that one little clutch play that he went off against, and that was so good. Right from around, I think against Team Star, they executed such a beautiful play, and after that they were caught in deep waters, could not do much, got eliminated from the game. But you could clearly see, right, how quickly, how in a good manner, the boys from Quantum Rage got themselves inside the circle. And this is where, I really, again, elimination points are there, still lacking that position points for them. And what could have been the ideal way they could have really approached was wait for a fight to happen, right? At situations like that, when you're outside the zone, playing around the edges, you need to be the ones who are capitalizing, not just moving in and just hoping that things would be better for you on the long run. So again, this was one of those moments where Ali almost just dealt some massive damage. Had he gotten Blade knocked out in that situation as well, I think the tables would have been completely turned for the players of 3x Esports. But that clearly did not happen.
Yeah, it did not, and it really did end up meaning that QWERTY were able to move forward in this fight as well. Now, I think what is important for QWERTY is to try and somehow find, because they've displayed every sign of a team that can grab a chicken dinner, right? Fixes. Yeah. They have that star prolific high firepower player in Destroyer, who we saw even yesterday, just shutting down people left, right, center. We saw that happen once again. They displayed their ability to work together as a unit. But what I feel like really went wrong for them in this final three part of the circle was the fact that they were just not able to capitalize on the fact that a couple TFD was
slow their gameplay down, then there's nothing stopping them. And with that, as we move on through to the Oppo F90, Oppo moments, right, my apologies, we definitely are looking at a lot of fights that started taking place in the first few minutes of the game itself. I mean, this Paradise Resort fight that took forever, and then I believe it was TUF that joined into the fray as well.
Yeah, exactly. This fight ended up taking forever. It also ended up being the downfall of Quantum Rage, who came in later into another fight between 4v like we were gonna see. But right here is the moment I'm talking about. 3x Esports actually, were the ones to catch out SALTxi8 quite early. And then this is what I'm talking about. Quantum Rage in a similar long fight, the way That early one was between MetershotxSKY, 52 Rage and TUF. Quantum Rage here were stuck in a trinity between 4v and Freestyle, and it affected their rotations. They ended up getting their hands in too many pies at once, and the jar closed in on their hands, and they got punished later on in their rotations. But similarly, I think for all of these teams, what really messed them up in the long term was their prediction of where the zone would go, and that's why SALTxi8 got it bang on quite early.
Definitely, and that is something that when it comes down to the map of Sanhok, you have to be, again, a little lucky as well. I mean, you can kind of anticipate where the zone is going to be, but if you make that early rotation, only then can you prosper. If you end up relying on that late rotation, till then, the zone is going to be so very constricted. So many teams are already going to be jam-packed into that, so it becomes very, very difficult to enter the zone, as we saw in the latter half of this game.
Yeah, exactly. Propel themselves into the first half of the page. It's some significant strides in trying to make that happen for Team TUF. But yeah,
this is how it started.
Really.
And then who would have thought TUF would get the chicken dinner at the wow is what this game has been from the start, from the zone till the end, as it moved all the way through to the chicken.
Yeah, exactly. What an absolute thriller of a game this has been. I hope that in our final day of the Super Weekend tomorrow, we get games only like this.
Exactly, right? Every single game, every single map has to be like this, where the zone is unpredictable, is completely out of the blue, and definitely pushing these teams on a completely different envelope than they would have anticipated to be a part of the final day of the Super Weekend. But anyways, that's stretching ourselves a bit too thin, because for now, when it comes down to the play itself that has been made on day number 2, I am pretty happy. I mean, we did see resurrection from the side of FMxR3D. We definitely do see that same resurrection from the side of H2E as well as Team TUF. And first chicken dinner for the side of SALTxi8. So a GG day definitely for these teams.
Yeah, exactly. A chicken dinner as well as a brilliant performance in their last match will give them a hefty chunk of points coming in to day 3 and give them a shot at potentially finishing in the top 1, if not top 2 position itself after the end of this Super Weekend. So we'll see if they are able to make that push happen. And talking about SALTxi8, as you can see, they've crossed that 100-point mark. They've got themselves into that 3rd slot and are immediately going to start challenging Team H2E for that 2nd spot. And not too far behind from the Quantum Rage themselves. And Clarity, on the other hand, with that 2nd spot, getting themselves at least onto this first page with that 10th spot, maybe.
From the side of the Grounders, where they started off the day with only 45 points, and then they finish off with 80 plus points in the top 5. So definitely a wonderful day for the side of the Grounders. But the 2nd page is where things are turning out to be a little bit grim, where once again, in fact not once again, again and again, we're just looking at these teams. 52x Rage, alright, Clarity has moved up and 52x Rage has been brought down, but there's not a big difference between that 10th to the 11th position in terms of the points.